Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yolanda Shoshana Live, my live stream. You know how I do. Welcome, LinkedIn Live. Twitter should still be popping. Twitter's going through some live stream changes. I believe you are still here. Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. Welcome. It's a wine kind of day. Joining me today is Marina Castillo with Catena Wines, and I am so excited to have her here. We're going to jump into some Malbec because World Malbec Day is the 17th, which is coming up on Saturday. And this is one of my favorite wines. And there's a lot to know about it. And more people are finally getting in on it. So welcome so much. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Yes. I love your content and all that you post.
Oh my God.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So women sipping wine and chatting. This is what we're about to do.
Oh, I can do that. I can do that.
Wait, what do you have before we jump into? I want to know a little bit more about you, but which wine are you drinking right now?
So I am drinking a little bit of Catena Alta.
Okay.
Malbec.
Okay.
So I'll tell you all about it, but this would be the label.
Okay. And I'm having the nice one, the High Mountains, the 2018, and I'm really loving it. So
amazing.
Before we get into the wines, I want to know how you got into wine, because normally people have really great stories or something. I don't know. Was it a family thing? Did you stumble into wine? No. Okay. Tell me more.
This is very interesting. So I was born and raised in Argentina. I've only been living abroad for 7 years now. Okay. So I was born in a small town that now produces wine, but it's very, very, very new. In Argentina, it's called San Luis. But then I moved west to Mendoza. Okay. So when I moved to Mendoza, it was to study international relations, nothing to do with anything. I literally didn't even like wine at the time. But I only had one friend. I know. I'm 18, right, as well. So it's like you like sugary things and whatever. And then I was at a barbecue, like long table, where there was only meat, like asado, this much salad, and wine, and some bread. And I'm like, excuse me, I don't like wine. I drink, can you have a pop or water? And I still feel the feeling of people like,
who is this? Who let her in?
And it's like, dude, this is Mendoza. You have to drink wine, whatever. So I'm like, okay. I started to drink just because I just wanted to fit in, to be honest. Sure. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. Okay, but I didn't pay much attention that day. And then I actually drank my first real wine or fantastic wine, that it was a Malbec, of course. And I'm like, oh, wait, I can taste this. I can taste this. I can taste this. So that's how we started.
Okay. I have been to Argentina one time. It's still one of my favorite press trips, but it was to Buenos Aires. I loved it. Tons of wine, of course, and Malbec. It was for the Hyatt Hotel, and they didn't even know about wine, and the winemakers came in, but I still need to go to Mendoza and really get a chance. But I've been to an asado, a real one. So I know Malbec and the meat are a huge thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, your winery was voted as like the most, what was the most beloved wine brands of 2020?
Most admired wine brand.
Right, which is huge considering all the wine that's out there. How did that feel? And what sets you all apart from other wineries?
It was quite the surprise because we had never been on the list. So if you see, it's like a 50. It's a 50 winery list that every year gets renewed at around April. So actually, we were all surprised, especially. But I think it was a really, really nice thing for us to happen because the pandemic just started. So it was March. It was like 2020. It was the craziness, and we were starting to work from home, and it was like an everyday kind of thing. Like, okay, what's going to happen tomorrow? And then all of a sudden, like, boom, you're voted the number one. Not just we just made it the list. We just made it all the way to the top, to the number one. So we were like, wait a second. I mean, fantastic. And we'll take it, to be honest. Like, it was such a nice thing to also be able to celebrate with all the importers around the world via Zoom. It was I think it was a much needed hug for the soul during that moment as well.
Right.
So I think it is a fantastic way to expose Catena in Argentina as well. And I don't know, we were like, boom. And
yeah, that's amazing. I'm a fan of your wines, and I keep thinking that people are sleeping on wines from Argentina. So I'm always like, why are you not drinking wine from Argentina? But once people taste the Malbec, they get it. So speaking of Malbec, if anybody makes a good Malbec, it's you all. You all make some of the best around, and I want to talk about some more of your wines. And I don't even know how many you all make, and how many I've tried. I probably need to try all of them. But let's get into some of the wine, because that's why some people are here. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the wine that you're having is the Catena High Mountain Vines Malbec. So this is our flagship Malbec. And the idea of this Malbec is to blend different vineyards that are at different elevations in Mendoza, between like all over, like over 3,000 feet elevation. But the idea of this Malbec is to have a fantastic wine that is very, very easy to drink, and it's very nice to have with or without food, because if you have it, it's very smooth and velvety, like that's classic Malbec, and it has a touch of oak, but it doesn't punch you in the face.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and again, you can just be sipping through it, like fantastic by the glass, or like very like light nibbles, or it can stand up as to a nice meat dish as well. So, but that's the focus. And the one that I'm having, which is like a step up from the you're having, which is Catena Alta. Alta in Spanish means high. So again, this is a blend of high elevation vineyards as well. But in this case, it is a selection of the best rows of those vineyards. They are vinified separately, and then we blend them for a little bit longer time in French oak.
Gotcha.
Again, the idea is to showcase what Malbec can do at higher elevation. And this in particular, the Catena Malbec, the Catena Alta Malbec, it's a wine that you want to age as well. And that's what I love about Malbec. You can have it right now, it's approachable, or you can age it.
Right.
So pretty.
I love the one I'm having. I said I was only going to drink a little tonight. I don't think
it's okay. You're gonna have to be munching, after having water. That's it. And then we have another line. So you reach to the Catena Zapata line. And for instance, we have one that it's one of my favorites, of course. It's the Catena Zapata Malbec Argentino.
Yes. That bottle is so beautiful. That label. Oh.
Yes, I know. It's fantastic. And this is how we actually decided to make this label, is to tell the story of the Malbec grape throughout the centuries.
Okay.
So I'll tell you very quickly.
Yes, please.
So you have it right here. So you have 4 different female characters. The first one, the first one is Eleanor of Aquitaine, Queen of France first, and then Queen of England in the 1100s. So these are some of the first records of Malbec being portrayed as the dark black wine. Okay, and we get to the second one, which is the immigrant. So the immigrant is basically Ana Moschetta, which is the wife of Nicola Catena, which is the first Catena family member that emigrated from Italy to Argentina in the late 1800s. But if you see her, like she looks like she's not having a great time, because we're also trying to portray the difficulties of this whole immigration process that took place in Argentina in the late 1800s and early 1900s. But she has vines, like little vines, in her hands. And then you have Madame Phylloxera, that you know the story. Like she decimated all those vineyards.
Gets it all up, a hot mess.
And I know you like skulls, and I know you like that. So it is the portrait of poor Malbec almost disappearing in Europe, but going all the way to Argentina, because Malbec landed in Argentina before Phylloxera. So it's a pre-Phylloxera wine. Oh, and the last, of course, is Adriana. So Adriana Catena, it's representing the rebirth of Malbec in Argentina And I like to show, I don't know if you can see it very well, but in the back, you have our vineyard, our winery, you have the Andes Mountains,
Oh,
you
wow.
have her face looking like, yeah, I got this. So
great. I think some people would be shocked to know that Malbec had such a history in France. Like, I mean, I think when I found out, I was like, oh, I never would have guessed. But it's an interesting history. But like, because for me, I'm just like Argentina, Malbec. I never would think about France in this, but I get it. It's an interesting history.
yes,
Yeah, especially for people who like to wine, to geek out, you should definitely check that out because it's so interesting. But
absolutely.
But you all, Argentina has just taken the reins and they're doing so much with it.
Yes, and I think that's one of the important things to recognize, that I think when you ask me for like why are people kind of lagging on getting more onto Malbec, but I think it's because there is this misconception that all Malbec taste the same, or all Malbec just needs to be cheap and cheerful, and that's not the case anymore. Right. So I think there is a fantastic, when you get and you delve into Malbec, you see that it does very differently at different elevations. And in even our highest elevations at 5,000 feet, it's so floral and it's so pretty. And it's completely different than a Malbec that it's, I don't know, at 3,000, for instance.
Right. So the one that you're drinking, what would you pair with it? What would you? And I do mean you. I mean,
okay, me. I would pair it. This is very interesting. I would pair it with, of course, a nice barbecue. I like, of course, meat. I am most used to it. I also like it a lot with some sort of more gamey meals like veal, or I also like if it's a Malbec that to me it's not overly oaked, and that it doesn't overpower. It does go very well with some even Moroccan meatballs, or that kind of food that it's, for instance, lamb based, but it's quite like tagine, that kind of food as well, because it stands up to the flavors as well. So it's quite versatile.
Right. Mm. And that lovely Argentino bottle, since I'm waiting to open mine, I mean, yeah, I'm like, it's so special.
Well, you can call me. We can drink one together.
Absolutely. What would you, I mean, I feel like I'm just going to sip it and go, oh my God. But what would you, because I'm sure you've had it, what would you pair with it?
Well, here you do need for sure to be nibbling on something, because it's very approachable. It's very approachable, but it's a powerful wine. Okay. So I would definitely do, I don't know if you eat meat, but definitely, certainly, I would go for like a red meat kind of style, or something flavorful. For instance, like the tagine Moroccan meatballs, like, because I was having one last night. So that's why it comes to my mind. It can stand up with like flavorful type of cuisine. Okay. But for sure, you can never go wrong with a barbecue.
Yeah. So if somebody doesn't eat meat, because I eat meat, I'm thinking more like, I guess, something eggplantish, like, because you need something hearty for some of this, right?
Yeah. You do need something hearty, but again, it's not going to punch in the face like a Cabernet. You know what I mean? It is much more approachable, but you do need some hearty or flavorful foods.
Right. I'm trying to remember what else I wanted to ask you about all this. So I, as we talked about, like, I do think people are starting to catch on to Malbec. I mean, I'm assuming you're finding that. Are you finding that it's replacing like a Merlot or a Cabernet, or are they just liking it for its flavor itself? Or why do you think that is? I've heard some people say, oh, the price point's really good. So some people go, oh, great, red, I can substitute it. Or what are you finding when you talk?
I think what I'm finding is what I said before, is like there is like a little bit of a glimpse of going into Malbec and saying, okay, this is not just cheap and cheerful, and there is some serious wines coming from there. And the second part is, like, again, that not all Malbec tastes the same. And I think people are starting to realize that how good of a conductor of terroir Malbec is, because now they're starting to pay a little bit more of attention, because a Malbec that comes from, I don't know, from Lunlunta or La Consulta or Gualtajari, it's not the same. And that's the beauty of it, that it expresses terroir fantastically well. And it also can grow at high elevations and also show that fantastic high elevations that we have in Argentina. So I think like slowly, like people are opening to a difference in Malbecs.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you on that. What was I about to say? I totally lost my train of thought because I had so much going on. I'm like, ooh, between drinking wine, I feel like I'm just now chilling and hanging out.
Yeah, well, we kind of are. So
we are. Hey, everybody.
I hope people out there are doing the same too, and like taking some Malbec and saying like, that makes sense.
So, do you know how old World Malbec Day is? I don't think it's been going that long. Do you know how long the day has been?
Yeah, I think it started at around 2010 or 2011. I think that was 2011 was the first year that World Malbec Day started by Wines of Argentina. And I think it's a fantastic idea. It actually has a beautiful story on why it is on the 17th of April, because it is on the 17th of April, but we say, okay, Malbec World Week or Malbec World Month, whatever. Okay. So, but it is on the 17th of April. So it has to do with how Malbec got to Argentina. So like I said before, Malbec, it's pre-phylloxera, the cuttings that are in Argentina, right? Mm-hmm. So Malbec gets to Argentina by an agronomist that was commissioned by the president Sarmiento. Okay, so this agronomist is a French agronomist named Michel Pouget, and he brought cuttings to Argentina. Right. And actually, it has to do on April 17th with a project that was submitted at the provincial legislature. I don't know how to say that in English.
Perfect.
Legislatura, to establish an agricultural school. And that was the day that they submitted the project. It got approved later on. So that's why it was on April 17th, 1953.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love the thought. Do you plan on doing something for World Malbec Day, or will you just be like, I am off today, I am chilling?
No. This is one of the busiest week of the year. So yes, we have many projects going on all over the world. So it's super fun, actually.
Yeah, I mean, when we could do live events, Wines of Argentina invited me to something really fun. Like during it, like a few years ago, it was just great. They had the barbecue, the wine. It was just absolutely wonderful. And I can't wait till we can have live events again.
I know, me too, to be honest. Yes. Yeah. But this is a good substitute as well. So
yes.
It works. Yes.
So you asked me a question about.
I asked you a question, yes, because I'm so interested in your love for the tarot, and I'm like, and you have different decks and all that kind of stuff. So if Catena Malbec was a tarot card, which one would that be, and from which deck?
So here's the weird thing, because I think my psychic stuff then kicks in, because before I was going to pick the Alice in Wonderland deck, which is this beautiful deck that I got from Prague from a couple, hand gilded, but I was like, ooh, what card? And then I changed up because I think I thought about the Argentino bottle. And then the Santa Muerte deck popped in with the skulls. And I picked the Lover's card.
Oh, one of my favorites.
And I just think that this really speaks to me because it talks about making decisions and going for it, and also social life and love. And I just feel like the one thing I loved about being in Argentina was how passionate all the winemakers are about Malbec. Unlike how passionate you are. I feel like you all are just like, Malbec's the best thing in the world. and it is. But it's like you all speak about it so passionately, and I just feel like the Lover's card.
Oh my God, I love that card. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So so I kind of went to two decks, but it's my Alice in Tarot deck was a backup, or the first one, and then I switched it, and I don't know why. I was like, ooh, that's an interesting how I went from that to this. So, but I loved your question.
I thought it was super fun.
I was stumped a little. I have all these great decks, but but Lovers. I just think that the love of what's in the bottle for Malbec, to me, in Argentina. I loved Argentina. I could totally live there. But I was
You
only
have to come back.
I definitely have to come back.
You have to come back, and you have to come back to you have to come to
I'll
Mendoza,
come
and
to
of
Mendoza.
course you have to come to Catena. So yes, absolutely.
Oh my God, I'm sure it's absolutely gorgeous. Like how big is the winery, or what do you have? Like
It's
animals?
actually not that big. Like
Okay.
if you see it like right there, it's actually like not that big. We actually like that's an older picture. I think it's from 2004 or something. Yeah, from 2004. So now we have like we just removed a little bit of the vineyards to replant, and then we have some beautiful llamas. And I know, and then one had a baby llama, and it was like, oh my God. So we even made a contest to pick a name. So it was like the most, like the cutest thing in the whole world. So no, yeah, you have to come visit. You have to come visit. You have to come visit.
Have llama cam for those of us who can't come there. Llama cam, as everybody sits and drinks wine and looks at llamas. I mean, I would watch that all day though.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So what's next for you all? Anything? I mean, I feel like you all are just doing it. Anything fun? Do you have new you can tell me about, or?
Yeah, well, actually, we're going to be focusing a lot on Malbec, and we're going to be focusing a lot on this guy that got amazing points. You will see us talk about this beautiful label, not just the label. It has a fantastic juice as well. And 2019 as well, like 18 and 19, fantastic vintages both. So you will see us a lot. Yeah, doing a lot of Malbec.
And
cheersing.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't tried Malbec yet, I mean, so somebody sent me a Malbec from, I don't remember, I think it was made in California or somewhere, and I just kind of went, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's good, but I'm like, it just feel, I don't know. It just, now that I'm so into like Malbec from Argentina, I'm already a little like, I don't know about that.
Well, I love that. I mean, I've tasted other Malbec from other parts of the world, of course, and they're also fantastic. But yes, keep us your favorite.
And I always say, because everybody thinks of other places, but I feel like Argentinian wine is just so special, and I'm always trying to get people get on it. And you all make some great wine, and and
you have to try. We make fantastic Cabernet as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Okay. We make fantastic Cabernet as well. And we do make as well fantastic Chardonnay. I don't know if you've ever tried, but that's for next. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
White wine. I have tried. I had a Cabernet Franc.
Yes. I saw it.
My world. I had it for Cabernet Franc Day. That was the one I actually had, because I was like, where did I get this from? And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize someone sent it to me. And then I was like, oh, I didn't even remember, but it was so good. But
it is the San Carlos Cabernet Franc.
Wonderful. I didn't even know you all made white wine, but I guess it makes sense.
Yes, we do.
One white wine or a several?
We have several.
Okay.
That's another conversation. We have several, and you have to taste the same line, the Catena Chardonnay, and then we have Appellation series. We have Tupungato Chardonnay, and then you have Catena Alta, and then we have White Bones and Stones that you have to try.
White Bones and Stones. Wow.
Yes. I'll leave you. I know. Wanting for more.
The mystery continues. See, the lover's card is the best card, I think, for your winery.
It is.
It's perfect. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. You are so awesome. And
you are awesome.
I can't wait to hang out with you in the flesh in real life.
Yes.
It will happen. If you're not drinking Malbec, you should on World Malbec Day, and just because it's delicious. I mean,
absolutely.
You heard it here. If you haven't tried it, you're missing out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Until next time, peace, love, and
Salud.
cheers.